Let's talk about emails in the Mason community. Before coming here, I didn't know what emailing was. I used to email randomly, forward emails like crazy, you know. And I didn't realize I was among the best in the industry, email pros like Professor Stowers and Professor Stowers and Professor Stowers GAs. And so I went through my email for the past year and you know, defined emailing for myself. It's the thing that is very short, very precise, cut to the point. So an example, number 3 in that category, the third person, I sent an email to Professor Stowers, and it started like this: Dear Professor Stowers, I hope you had a great weekend. I hope your family is doing well, and you know, you had a great time in the sunny weather. And it was like 2 paragraphs of the Middle Eastern stuff. And then the second thing was, so how are we gonna hand in our homework? And his answer was, hard copy. And he didn't even have a signature line, so he's like, just hard copy. I was like, wow, that's so awesome, I learned something. And then I met Dick Flood. One day we got an email from Flood saying 9. And I was shocked. I was like, okay, you know what? It could be read chapter 9, or it could be problem 9 is the homework problem, or it could be 9 of the month is my birthday. I don't know. And then when I went down 10 emails, it was like, what time does the test start? It was like 9. So he didn't even put enough time to type 9 a.m. It's inconvenient to type a.m. It's hard. It's a keyboard. So I'm like, wow. But you know what? This is nothing. This is really nothing. Is Emily Anderson here? Emily, are you? Oh, here we go. Emily sent an email to the entire class with no subject line. It was a blank email. So she's number 1. I was like, just when I thought I mastered emailing, I met Emily. And it was blank. It was nothing. It was just empty. And till today, we don't know what was going on. Oh, here we go. Professor Murray. We call him Morpheus. That's what we call him in our class. It's not a nickname. It's on the syllabus. He asked us to call him Morpheus. He came to class with 2 pills in his hand. He said, are you going to take the blue pill and take the journey with me, or the red pill? Of course, all of us took the blue pill. So the following presentation might not make sense to some of you who did not take the blue pill. Because it's like the Matrix, you know, it's like green. You got to take the blue pill to make sense. All right, so I took a bunch of slides from his presentation. That's his final presentation. And I'm amazed because a year from now, I'm going to go back to my home country, Iraq, and work with my own company. And I'm going to tell my employer, this is what I learned in America. I'm going to tell him I learned a great deal about this great guy named Porter. He had a great philosophy, but I still don't know what it is, you know. So I took a slide. He says, Porter's value chain model. And, you know, this is what I understand. I'm going to try to help you understand this. So when I go back home, I'm going to restructure the architecture of the building to look like this. So there'll be administration at the top, marketing at the bottom, and then I'm going to add 2 more departments called profit and margin. And they're going to be working like this. So the profit margin department is going to be like this direction. It has to be this direction. You're going to know why in a second. So this is how I'm going to restructure my company. And this is how people will communicate with each other. And it's very self-explanatory. I don't know, maybe I'm dumb. I just don't understand it. It says, linkages between functions within the firm. Look at the boundary activities for strategic opportunities. That makes a lot of sense. That really makes a lot of sense. When I was in the exam, it was open book on open notes, and I looked at this, I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Now, okay, what should I write now? You know? And then later, I said, okay, well, because people get confused, I'm going to put some signs in my company so that people know where to go, you know, and eventually, you're going to, when you expand your building, you're going to have them next to each other. That's why it's important that they head this direction when you design your building. And see, I told you guys, you learn so much from William and Mary. That's another reason to put your kids in there next year. So just amazing school, man. And this is a more comprehensive. It's like if it didn't make sense, this is going to make sense to you now, because this is like, I don't know, more detailed, perhaps? Porter's 5 forces. As an MBA student, we learn how to be creative and revolutionaries, and God knows we don't need revolutionaries in the Middle East. We have plenty of them. But it's okay. I'm going to play along, you know. Porter's 5 forces. I'm sick of that. You know, every class, marketing, IT, it's Porter all over again.
Don't plan on taking my class next year.
But here's the thing, I came up with my own model. You know, it's actually much more practical than this because I don't know what to do with this. It's complicated. I came up with Saddam's 5 forces. It's very good. It's very simple. Okay, here's how it works. Let me explain to you. First of all, you will have no industry competitors because if you have them, they'll be dead by the end of the day. So that one force gone away. And the suppliers and buyers, nobody's going to have bargaining power. You know, if you have bargaining power, you're out. So that's 2 more forces out. And then new entrants, we have a strong army. If you enter, there's going to be war. So that's taken care of. And then finally, there's no substitute. There's Saddam Hussein, and that's it. So now it's much simpler. You know, it's practical. I applied it in my country for 20 years, and it worked. Okay, I'm done with this. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, this is one of the things that you need to take the blue pill to understand, okay? This is... Is anybody colorblinded in here? Because you're not going to get this. There's going to be a lot of colors. If you have a company, it should look like a pyramid, and then slowly you're going to have a lot of departments within your company, which is awesome. And just when I thought things wouldn't get prettier, there's the executive cockpit right there. And that's from his slides. I haven't changed anything. So I'm planning to climb up all the way until I get there. And if you took the blue pill, you're probably going to see colors now. If not, then it's probably green to you. Okay, so this is, I'm done. But you know what? Before I go, there's a depth with somebody that I need. Is Dean Pulley here? Dean Pulley. Oh, here we go, sir. How are you doing today? Sir, I'm amazed. I love you. You know, and every time I pass by you in the lobby, I just say hi, and you don't even reply to me. Do you have a? But you know what? I still admire you. I'm a great fan of this guy because he gives great speeches. And the only thing that I remember from his speeches is his hand gesture. And this is how it's going to look like. When I saw him, I was like, oh my God, this guy's like, give me lemons and I'm going to make lemonade, you know? He's like serious stuff. So I was like, whatever he says, I'm down for it. That's back to you, sir. So thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot.
Wow, as usual, Dana, you completely underwhelmed me. I don't know what to say, but let's take it to the board. What do y'all say? Round of applause. Judges, this is going to happen every time, just so y'all are ready. So that means pick up the mic. Okay, we're with it? All right.
So I'm trying to figure out what category to put you in. I think I would go with cash cow. Is that an appropriate category? I think you did a great job.
Earlier in your presentation, you mentioned that if you played dead, Ed might pass by you. From personal experience, that still doesn't work. So just be aware that, you know, you may have to come up with another tactic, so.
I thought you had more laughs in that than Professor Allred and Professor Swan had.